real estate sales full time. And I knew I had to go to a big company, and that's kind of how I got here. So I originally had set out a goal that I wanted to make $10,000 a month, and that's when I started my own appraisal business. It kind of fell in my lap, and things kind of snowballed.
What got you thinking about setting a goal like $10,000 a month?
I read a lot of self-help books like Napoleon Hill and take coaching, and I know it's all about mindset, setting goals, following through, not really letting anything get in the way or scare you. Just saying this is what I intend to do, and I'm going to do it no matter how long it takes or what it entails. So,
can I interrupt for just a second?
Yeah.
Setting goals. We talked at Bold last week about, there are people that set no goals, and that's the vast majority of people, like, 78%. And then there's another group that have expressed goals verbally and put them out there into the universe. And then there's a final group that actually writes the goals down. Which group? Obviously, you're not in the first group.
So when I set a goal, I write it down, put it in my calendar so it pops up every morning and every night before I go to bed. I think about it. I put it on my computer screen. I develop some type of internal thing to say to myself over and over. It's really like all I think about until I do it.
So you have this 10,000 number coming up?
Yeah.
Does anybody else do that? Yeah. What's your password for Maris? Can you tell us?
My password for Maris?
No, I was pointing to Barbara.
It's
tell me what type of password.
Right now it's cornbread. But normally all my other passwords are my volume goal.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. All my passwords are money flows, so then what I say after I type it in is money flows to me effortlessly and abundantly. Every time I type a password in, which is like 800 times a day.
That's good.
So
cornbread flows to Barbara.
I had to change it, and that's what I was doing at the time, making cornbread. So
anyway, go on. So you write the goal down. You're looking at this $10,000 number all the time.
Yeah, and I don't think about how it's going to happen because the things that have happened to me, there's no way my mind could have created that stuff. Like just meeting random people that end up being an influence somewhere down the line. There's just no way I can create that if I just sat down and thought about, how am I going to make this happen? How am I going to make this happen? I just think about the end result and what I want and just ask the universe or God or whatever it is to send it to me, and it happens.
So you started with this 10,000 number. Did you hit that?
Yeah, in like 6 months.
In like 6 months. And knowing that you're a competitive kind of guy, what'd you do next?
I instantly said, I want to make $40,000. Because I was like, why not?
Getting to 10 in 6 months is a pretty good thing, right?
Yeah.
So, good. So 40.
Yeah. And then like literally the next day, Russ called me and invited me to Bold. And I was like, well, this must be something I need to do. So I did Bold and then got invited to Austin. And then just seeing how much like training and how much there is to learn at this company, I knew that this was the right fit. And I've learned like more working here in a short time than I probably did all through high school and college.
So
about things that matter.
So you're reading a lot of self-help books. You're reading Think and Grow Rich, things like that. The quote about money flowing effortlessly is straight out of Think and Grow Rich, right?
Yeah, probably.
And then it sounds like you're also taking a lot of classes.
Yeah. So I did
how's that
Ignite.
changing things?
The classes help, like just teaching me how to talk to people in a way that I never thought about before. Like maybe I had a listing sign and someone would say, what can you tell me about, whatever house? And I just say, oh, it's listed at $115,000. Okay, bye. But now it's, you kind of draw that out and get to see what they're looking for, and that's one way to create business.
Would somebody do a sign call with him? Judy, would you do a sign call with him?
Sure.
I mean, you'd be the person calling.
Right. I figured that. Ring, ring.
Hi, this is Geoff Jones with Keller Williams.
Hey, Jeff, I just drove by that new listing you have on Sunrise Drive.
Oh, yeah. I'm not in front of my computer. How can I What can I help you
Well,
with?
I want to know the price.
Okay, well, can you give me a second? I need to look it up. I'm not sure right off the top of my head. What are you looking for?
Well, I know that neighborhood can get kind of pricey, but I don't want to go over 300.
Yeah. And do you live in the area, or have you been looking long, or what?
Well, I'm in the area, but I'm probably half mile away, and we just always have liked that area. Why are the people moving?
Caught me off guard. They're downsizing their order. They want to live in a condo.
We need to upsize.
Yeah, it's a
It looks
nice,
pretty big.
it's a big house. Yeah. I'm sorry, you guys kind of caught me off.
I totally threw this at her. I'm sorry. She asked you about the price.
Yeah. Well, if you give me a second, I can look that up. What's your price range?
Well, we don't want to go over 300, and if it's not over 300, could maybe we see it?
Yeah, I can get you into it. I can also send you a list of other properties in the area. If you want to give me your email address, or if you want me to call you later.
All right, let's stop there.
Something you'd be.
Here's the point. What are you hearing Geoff doing?
Getting more dialogue information.
He's getting dialogue going. He knows that communication is seek first to understand. And I'm not pointing at you, Paul. I'm pointing at the wall behind you. And he knows that customers always come first. So he's learning about the customer and seeking first to understand. What most of us do when somebody says, I'm calling about 123 Park, most of us just say, oh yeah, that house is $350,000. I listed it yesterday. But Geoff does the whole, I'm not in front of my computer, in order to start a conversation about what they're looking for. And starts asking questions to try to elicit information. Does that make sense?
And the other thing I do is I don't fake it. Like, I really try to help people. And I know that I can. So in this situation, I'm kind of thinking about that I'm standing in front of a room full of people and not what I say necessarily.
Right.
Because I do it more naturally and just however the conversation goes. But I really try to find out about them and what they're looking for. Because I know I can help them. So I'm not trying to just sell them a house. Like, I really want to help them find what they need. And so that's what I focus on.
What? So go to that point. You've changed your listing presentation quite a bit.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. In fact, let me put your pre-listing packet up. Just want to show you this. So Geoff took this is the front cover of Geoff's pre-listing packet, which, by the way, I keep calling it that. It's a marketing packet. It's a written marketing plan. If you call it a pre-listing packet, the clients don't know what you're talking about. Where did you get this format?
I made it up.
You made it up.
On my MacBook.
You kind of used a few of our tools.
I used a little bit of the Michael Lewis stuff and
right.
kind of stole some ideas
So,
from that.
good looking, contemporary, good colors, little bio about Geoff. Is there anything that you're trying to communicate in there specifically? Or is it just a generic bio?
No, I mean, I say that I have appraised, over 3,000 houses, and I've done depositions. I work with attorneys, and so basically that I know how to price homes. I say that I'm an investor, and just trying to show people that I'm passionate and knowledgeable.
If you download Ignite Session 1, you get the whole spiel on how to create your value proposition. And this is what Geoff has in here. An appraiser, a home investor, these are my credentials. You may not have credentials yet that are compelling, but our office certainly does, and you can use our credentials. So that's a great page one. Then you go through a market analysis, an explanation of how you're going to do that.
Yeah.
On to a strategy, just highlights.
That I took from Keller Williams.
Took that from Keller Williams. And you can download a pre-listing packet or a marketing packet under the marketing tab at the MyKW home website. This you took from KW, right?
Yeah.
Where I'm going to put your properties. People ask that question all the time. What's this?
Just about having your home ready for showings and pictures and that kind of stuff.
According to NAR, in their annual survey of home sellers, this is one of the top things that people want to know. Are you going to help me get my home ready? It's one of the top things. Some quotes from clients that are happy. And I think you probably researched what people are looking for and made sure that your quotes are appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the things that people want to hear is that you can sell a house quickly. They want to hear that you know how to price it. And if you look through Geoff, I've read through these. If you look through Jeff's testimonials, they're hitting those things that people want to read. If your testimonial is about nonsense, then, I mean, he sold my house. You want to make sure your testimonials are answering the questions that people are asking. And NAR does a good job every year in the survey of home sellers of telling us what people want to hear. They want to hear that you found the buyer. So think back to some time when you found a buyer. Is that in one of these?
I don't remember now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think it says, and I had a buyer up there in number 1. They want to know that you found the buyer.
Yeah.
So find somebody that can give you a testimonial that says that. What's the last part here?
Why you should hire me.
Why you should hire me. Top 10 reasons. Good. So a great, easy 8-page marketing packet, a written marketing plan that goes out. And do you explain this page by page by page?
No.
Why not?
I give it to them and say, if you could look through this, this is a marketing piece about me, and then I talk more about pricing or, what, any questions they have.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any questions for Geoff before we let him out of the spotlight? Paul?
So you got the 10,000 in 6 months. What kind of generated that, kicked it off? What gave you the momentum?
I opened my own appraisal business, and I just went out and got clients, and they,
This was pre-real estate.
Yeah, this was pre-real estate.
Yeah.
Like sales.
This was more of a mindset for just his business in general.
So how long have you been in real estate?
In total, 10 years. So I've been an appraiser for 10 years, selling since 2008.
Right. And what was your GCI in January?
51,000.
51,000. Good January. And hopefully we're going to get him to 480. Did I do my math right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 480 by the end of the year. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But you know what's great about having a huge goal? Even if he doesn't get to 480, if he has a huge goal and he works towards it, he'll undoubtedly get higher than if he set his goal low. What were you going to say, Pat?
I was going to ask you, Geoff, how do you do your lead generating?
It's kind of been like a shotgun approach. So I'll go to social functions and just talk to people. I mean, real estate always comes up. It's just something a lot of people stand around with not a lot in common. That's something they can talk about. And so whenever I hear that, I just go over and start talking about it. And, eventually it'll come up and I'll say, oh, I'm a real estate agent. Do you need help? It's really easy to do it that way, for me anyway. Just talk to people in person. I've called for sale by owners, and usually I use the Brad Elsner approach and just say, hey, I'm by the house, can I come by and check it out? And they say, yeah, sure. And then when I get there, I give them that, and I kind of talk to them, and I don't ask for the business. I just kind of wait and keep calling them and whatever. So right now I'm in the process of setting up more like structured ways to follow up and do that stuff, so that I have more of a system in place.
So I'm hearing you say that when you're dealing with people like friends and SOI, that you've gone from sort of hopefully they'll recognize that I'm a realtor, to being very purposeful and asking good questions. Like, what's a typical question you might ask somebody when you've started a real estate conversation, like somebody in your SOI at a party?
Do you know of anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? And
that's a great question we should all memorize.
Yeah. It's easy. Sometimes I say it so fast they go, what?
Right.
And you've got their attention.
Yeah, and then I just speak with confidence, like, I know what I'm doing, I can help you, and you should use me. And they're like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
And so,
tell us about any kind of business-to-business things that you're doing.
So one thing that has been extremely beneficial is I work with a rehabber, one of my clients who I've sold houses to and helped him sell. And I try to build his business as much as I can, and he returns the favor. He sends me a lot of referrals and clients, and I also have a relationship with a lender who does the same thing. I really try to help people build their business, and if you do that, I mean, they have no choice but to help you build yours. So it's all mutual giving.
Come from contribution. Anyone else have questions for Geoff? And then
What's the next book you want to read?
Right now I'm reading a book about advertising. So I'd have
What's
to
it
look
called?
up. The Battle for Your Mind or something like that. It's about how you should simplify your advertising because. What's that?
You only have room for four,
Yeah, something.
For what?
like four brands of any one thing.
Yeah, and there's just so much information being thrown at people. You have to really get specific on who you want to target and make it easy to see and understand. So like with that listing presentation, that's why I eliminated all those pages because nobody's going to read 50 pages of anything. And you want to make it clean and to the point, and because there's just not enough room in our brains to handle any more information.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the best books I've read is The Richest Man in Babylon. It's about money.
Mm-hmm.
And the Napoleon Hill books. It's, the definitiveness of purpose, just getting an idea in your head and not letting anything stop it, really.
Richest Man in Babylon is like 40 pages long.
Yeah.
You can read it tonight. They sell it at Barnes & Noble.
That was going to be
Debbie.
my question. Is there a book that's had the most impact on you of any that you can think?
The thing that's had the biggest impact probably is I did Matthew Ferry coaching, which is Mike Ferry's son, and it's much more internally driven, I guess. It's not as like pound the pavement kind of stuff, and that was really helpful. So it kind of takes all of the ideas from those kind of books and combines them in phone calls or emails or whatever. So.
What do you do for leverage as far as handling your business, getting it to closing and?
Vanessa. Vanessa's been a huge help to me. I'm awful at paperwork and details, which is weird because I was an appraiser. That's probably why I didn't like it that much. But yeah, I just I've for a lot of my life I felt like I could do everything on my own, and over the last year or so I've been realizing that everybody has a specialty for a reason, and you should pay those people to do that. I guess my specialty is sales, so I'm learning, and another guy might be good at rehabbing houses, or another guy might be good at working on a car. You should pay those people to do their jobs and do your job, and just focus on the one thing.
Didn't even ask for that. Any other questions? Any other questions? Thanks, Geoff. Okay, so I wanted to do a little market update, and I asked you guys via, is everyone getting my robocalls?